Welcome back to the kitchen today. I think we're going to start out putting the refrigerator in the refrigerator hole with any luck for the last time. I went ahead and hooked up the water line to our new fixture there, but I have a problem down here on the floor. Originally, they had oversprayed this floor with white paint. There used to be a pantry and a cabinet there, so it wasn't a big issue, but now I need to clean that up. I've tried several less harsh methods like water and a scrub brush, and it seems to not come clean very well. So we're just going to use some acetone and see if we can get this to cut into it at all without hurting the floor underneath. It's definitely turning my rag white, which is a good sign. I do think I want to get a second rag though. One to wipe the big stuff and another one to clean it up. It's getting quite a bit better. We're going to try to scrape it, maybe soak it with acetone, loosen it up a little bit, and then scrape it. It's helping a little bit. The only part I'm worried about is right here where the refrigerator sits, because once I put the fridge in, you can't get to that very easy. Everything else we can work on slowly, and we will say that's good enough. There's still a few spots on the concrete, but that's okay. We'll give this area a little clean with our Craftsman shop vac. And we'll say that's good enough. Do this nice and carefully so we don't scratch anything. We'll see if we can get this thing super close to the opening and plug it all in. And we also need to hook up our refrigerator line, our water line, or the ice maker won't work. And the water connection is right down here on the bottom. I just want to get this hose so it's going to be nice and out of the way. Give that a little snugness. We should probably leak check it before we push it back in there. So we'll do that here in a moment. So the way we designed the refrigerator space, the outlet and the water plug are off to the side so we can get the refrigerator all the way back against this wall. And we'll go ahead and turn the water on. Sketchy. And it's in there. I think the next thing we're going to do is get the cabinets in the laundry room. Mrs. P picked this bank of 3 drawers to go right over here and fill in this space. It's going to need a little modification in the back, just like we did in this cabinet. I'll take a hole saw, cut both ends, and we have to trench the back out for this pipe. That should be fun. And we're going to use a divide and conquer approach today. So Mrs. P is going to put a coat of polyacrylic Minwax clear, and it looks like it's the satin finish type. And all we're trying to do is seal in this old paint. We're not trying to make a glossy coat or anything. We just don't want this paint flaking off, because most likely it's lead paint. Not good. Now we're choosing to paint the hardware and everything just to give it a good overall coat. Most of the hardware, this is the inside of the door, inside the pantry, so you're never going to see it. But we want to stop it from rusting or anything else. And when we picked up this door, they said it was teak, but I don't know that it is. It looks like maybe some type of hardwood. I have no idea. All right, but we're going to let Mrs. P handle that. We're going to go work in the laundry room. So I think the first thing we need to do is measure how high from the floor this pipe is. Looks like 14.5 inches. 14.5 inches. This end has a little coupler on it, so it's a little bit bigger. The pipe is about 2 inches on the outside, so we're going to go with a 2.5 inch hole saw. I lost my construction pencil. It probably went through the washer and dryer, but I found a pen, so we'll use that. All we're going to do is measure up on this side, 14.5 inches. 14 1/2. Oh my Goodness, pencil, pen. I have my Harbor Freight hole saw kit, and it comes in pretty handy. We're going to use the 2.5 inch hole saw in our Ryobi electric drill and see if we can put some holes in this thing. Now, one thing we had to consider when picking which cabinet to put here was the location of the drawer rollers. We had to make sure that our measurement here didn't line up with that roller. And I think we're okay. And with any kind of luck at all, we can just put this on 1.25 inches, which is half of 2.5. Trying to go slow so we don't mess up the inside of the cabinet. Looks pretty good. We'll get over here on the other side and do the exact same thing. 1.25 inches. Perfect. I think the next thing we need to do is take our straight edge and mark the back of this cabinet. And we kind of just want to intercept those two circles. Now we can use our Ryobi 18-volt thing here. We're going to drop the blade down so we don't cut as deep into this cabinet. We just need about that much. And we'll just run this thing straight across. Hopefully we can see that line the whole way. Get the bottom one too. And if our measurements are correct, this piece just comes right out. And we have two nice little circles. All right, we're moving this back into position to see if it'll fit. And we're not quite all the way back. If we look behind the drawers, that pipe is not recessing on this side. And the reason is that coupler is hanging up on our straight cuts. So we'll just pull it back out, relieve it with the saw a little bit. So I went ahead and angled the cuts here for about the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches. And that should give us plenty of room to get around this coupler and that strap that's hanging up there. Now we can slide this base cabinet into position. And we're all lined up on the face frame, so that is pretty good. I think the next thing we want to do is screw these face frames together, get them nice and even, and then we will run our straight edge along this thing to make sure that we're even this way. And it looks like that corner needs to come out a little bit. It's much easier to bring it out and put it further in. So when we were working on the hickory cabinets, I used 3 different drills. One with a straight drill to drill through the hickory, another drill with a countersink, and a third drill that matches the 2.5 inch deck screws. And we can just clamp this face frame together. And that deck screw looks like it's just about the perfect length to get all the way through. Now these cabinets aren't going to be as hard as the hickory, so we might just be able to use the countersink, but we'll see. We can always change plans as we need to. So we'll get the face frames together-ish. Now let's go with the drill because that seems a little rough. And I'm not clamping it, I'm just going to hold it by hand. Hope for the best. Little countersink. Get it as tight as we can. Perfect. And we'll do the same thing in 2 more positions, and this is done. Little countersink. Next thing we need to work on is straightening this front, which is just bring this side out too far. About like that. All the way to the roof. plan was to put another upper cabinet here, but this wall is getting really curved from about here all the way to the corner. It comes in about 4.5 to 5 inches. It was looking really strange having that cabinet kick out away from the wall, and I didn't want to cut the back out of the cabinet, so we're going to leave it like it is. We'll put a coat rack bar across on this side, and over on this side we'll put a coat bar across, and that'll be for doing laundry. Maybe. Up a little bit and towards the open position. Up just a little bit. Get his fingers out of there, see. Can you get them out? So I can use the sawhorses outside. Your hands on the bottom one. You go to the ground with it, Jeff. And start leaning. All right, just like that. Mrs. P and I have the granite countertop in here. We still have to get some seam adhesive to glue this back together. We didn't have a piece long enough from the original countertop, so it'll have to do. But overall, I think that laundry wall came out pretty good over there. We have a big empty wall here that probably needs a mirror on it or something. And this side is going to have the deep freeze, an upper cabinet, and a big empty spot. Perfect.
The backsplash is going to have 1/2 inch thick brick veneer, so all of the outlet covers need to be extended out. I couldn't find any at Lowe's to purchase, so we're just going to make our own on the 3D printer, and that will work perfect.
So Mrs. P helped me cut these pieces, and unfortunately we needed more than one piece, and all we had to cut it was a diamond angle grinder. So our seam isn't perfect, but it's good enough. And it's a little bit spread apart right this second, so we can get some glue in there. And I also ground up some granite dust from the piece that we cut off. The plan is to mix the epoxy, squeeze it down in there, and mix a little bit with the granite dust and see how that goes. All right, so we taped the top and the bottom, and we're just trying to force as much of this mix down in the crack as we can. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the gravel or the granite powder mixed very well. And most likely, I have the crystals too big still. But I think we're going to get enough in there that it's really not going to matter. I'll pull the tapes off and see how horrible it looks. I don't think it looks too bad. Probably could have been a little bit higher on our bead there. It'll be pretty good. I did put tape underneath. I don't know if you can see it here. And that should keep any of the epoxy from running out the bottom, we hope. All right, so we'll let this countertop sit for a while, and let's go work on baseboards. This is a piece of the old baseboard that came out of the laundry room. It has some mold on the bottom edge, so we cut that up, and that's going to be scrap. Or we can use the other 3 pieces that are perfectly fine and make shelf supports in the pantry. Let's get to that. All right, that'll take care of the shelf supports along the back wall. We have 1, 2, and 3. I was thinking 4 would have been a better number, but Mrs. P said no. Now I have some shorter supports that are going to go on this side. Hopefully the exact same height. We'll see. All right, we decided to use the old butcher block top as shelves in the pantry. We need 3 pieces at 23 inches wide by 19 inches long. And I'd like the grain to go across those. And then we need a whole bunch of long shelves for along the back wall for some reason. And those can only be 5 inches wide. What are you going to put on that? Cans? So we're looking for our finished long shelves to be 4 7/8. I'm going to cut them at 5 1/4, and then we'll finish cut them on the table saw. But right now this piece is too big and heavy to handle that. I'm going to move this in a little bit so it's supported. Because I don't know how strong this butcher block is. Now on these next 2 cuts, we're probably going to have to run both sides through the table saw to true it up. So I think we'll do the same thing. Two down, 1 more to go. Before we work on those 19 by 23 pieces, let's go cut those narrow pieces to size. So we want a final size of 4 7/8. Currently we're at 5 1/4, so I'm going to go to 5 1/8 on one side, and then we're going to turn them around and go to the final dimension on the other side. And that way, if there's any inconsistencies on our skill saw cut, this should take care of it. All right, now that we have one side trued up, we're going to go ahead and set it to our 4 7/8 measurement. Now we can go back to this piece, and we need some 23-inch wide sections. I think we'll just cut those with the skill saw, about 1/8 of an inch long, square them up on the table saw. All right, back to the table saw. Now we want to make sure we cut this correctly. We would like the finished edge. And we want to make sure the 23 is this way. Perfect. And that's it. We have 6 finished pieces. Let's go see if we can install them. And just like that, we have our 3 main shelves mounted in the pantry. There's 18 inches between each shelf. And the bottom, I think, is a little bit more. I don't know why. I'm only going to put 1 screw in the back corner on each side because that 2-inch butcher block, it's not going anywhere. All right, we have all the shelves screwed down. Now we have to work on those thin ones that go across the back. I went ahead and set up the router table for these long, skinny pieces. They probably don't need it, but I think they look a lot better with the front edges rounded. I hope Mrs. P agrees, or we'll have to sharpen them up again. Well, I didn't film a lot today, but we got a lot accomplished. We were able to get rid of all of the old cabinets. The pantry is 100% with its new shelves. Those are some nice looking shelves. Baseboards all the way around. Perfect. In the laundry room, we got the granite glued baseboards along this wall, baseboard and toe kick over here, and we got the toe kick on that cabinet. So other than the coat hanger rack along this wall and the coat hanger rack along this window wall, we are finished in the laundry room.
You guys make sure to get outside, do something fun, and come back and tell me about it.